Hi there. We're continuing our journey through the Proverbs, the Mishle Shlomo, the life sayings of Solomon. And we're in chapter 20 and we're looking at verses 20 and verse 21. Verse 20 in the original Hebrew says, Mekalel aviva emo yidach nero b'shun choshech. And this is a real stiff warning against those who would curse or who would turn against parents, brother, mother and father. Remember that mother and father in scripture are very valued, highly valued. One of the commandments, one of the 10 sayings of God is honor your father and mother. And so it's basically saying whoever curses their father and mother will end up like a lamp going out in obscurity and in darkness. That doesn't even necessarily mean that God is going to judge them and punish them for that, but just that when we reject those who go before us, then we are rejecting the wisdom, we're rejecting the input, we're rejecting the insight of the generation that gave us being, that gave us life. Now, obviously, this is that there are many situations where parenting is not perfect and is not good, but there's something about cursing those who went before us that actually is cursing our own origins and cursing our own inheritance. And the next verse is actually about inheritance. It says, "Nachalat mechovelet berishona, ba'acharita lo tevarach." And this basically means that an inheritance that is grabbed hold of early on or at the beginning, at the end will turn out not to be blessed. And this is perhaps, it's a difficult one in our culture to grab hold of this, but this is perhaps talking about when someone comes into property or they come into wealth, but they haven't got the experience to handle it. A good example of that would be the story that Jesus tells in Luke 15 of the prodigal son who asks for his inheritance and he goes away and he spends it. And then he ends up in the pigsty. That's very much the kind of picture. It might even be that Jesus had this proverb in mind when he spoke about that. But of course, there is a redemption with God, there is restoration with God, there is a way back. But it's saying better not to try and grab hold of something, better to do things patiently and wisely and without having the avarice that leads to bad things, that ends up not being blessed. Have a good day.